Happy Wednesday. Happy Well Women Wednesday. I get to talk today with one of our new members who just joined us in July, and I'm really excited about it. So, gonna give her an opportunity to get here, give you all an opportunity to get here, and I'm joining you today from my new favorite place, which is my patio at my house. This has really become like a favorite spot of mine. So I get to join you from outside, so I can't control all the sounds. If y'all hear some drilling, some banging, just know that it's not me. I am going with the flow. I hope you will flow with me, but I'm doing my best to spend as much time outside while the weather is supporting it, because when it gets cold, I don't like to leave out the house. So I am here outside, outdoors, on the patio today. Thanks for being here for another Well Women Wednesday. Hey sis, how are you? So glad you could join us in the middle of the workday. I'm Nakia Drummond. I am your founder for The Well. I am founder and CEO of NLD Strategic. The Well is, or She's Well Networked, as you all may know it, is a membership network for Black women business owners, where we are supporting Black women and growing their businesses through community, collaboration, confidence, and capital. And our fifth C, celebration. So on Wednesdays, not every Wednesday, but a lot of them, we come together here, whether it's in the middle of the day or at 5 p.m. Many times we jump on for a quick chat with one of our members or a special guest. Today we are meeting with a member who just joined us in July, Ijama, and she is CEO of Hue Cafe and Apothecary in the Baltimore County area. If you are in Baltimore County, Owens Mills area, definitely go check them out. They are on Doefield Road, and absolutely, if you do nothing else, get the cauliflower. That's my jam. But I've also heard that their cheesesteak is amazing. They are a plant-based restaurant, and I've heard everything is amazing. I haven't had everything. I've had the cauliflower because I can't get past it. Every time I go, I want it. But we are talking today with Ijama, who is CEO, and they actually started and launched their business like in the pandemic. So we're going to hear some of her experience and her story. And also, because this is quarter 3 in the Well, which is every quarter we switch our domain or topic areas that we focus on. And quarter 3 for us is all about marketing and branding. Hue Cafe and Apothecary is doing an amazing job with their marketing and branding and getting their name and business out there, even in the midst of a pandemic. And so I would be remiss to not ask her what her secret is to, successful branding and marketing. So Ijama, please request to join me and I will add you into this conversation. So for those of you who have joined us in the middle of your workday, thank you so much for being here. And we are going to keep it short and sweet for you, get you some gems on this Wednesday about growing and in your own marketing and branding for your business, and really just thriving even in the midst of all the things. So now, and this lady is a mother of, I'm trying to remember if it's 4 or 5 boys. How many boys you had? 4 or 5? How
I
many is it?
have 5 boys.
5 boys. This is a mama of 5 boys, and look at that smile on her face, and just look how gorgeous she is. Look how beautiful she's
Oh,
looking
thank
all the
you.
time.
Thank
She's
you.
always smiling, so big and bright. She's always looking good. She's got her red lips on. She is always all the way together when I see her, and so somehow, sort of God's grace holds you, because with 5 boys, that you manage to still look beautiful and smile
Thank
all the time, and 5 boys and a business
Yes. Yes.
and a husband.
Yeah. Very much
All the
so.
things.
Very much so. All of the things,
All the
right?
things.
Yes.
So yes, I wanted y'all to know y'all are here with a woman who is, living life in all the ways, right? So you could share a bit about that. But I shared who you were, but please introduce yourself again and tell us about your business and your brand so that we can all know more about it and support if we are local.
Yes, yes, yes. Hello, everyone. I am so grateful to be here. I am Ijama McNeil. I am the CEO of Hue Cafe and Apothecary, which is in Owens Mills, Maryland. If you've ever been in Baltimore, it's technically Baltimore County. And we're not too far, if you're in Baltimore County, from the Wegmans. That's pretty much a landmark that everyone is very familiar with. We've been at this particular establishment since last year in June. June the 19th is when we officially opened. That was Juneteenth. Like, it was like, let's do it. We're going
Wow.
to open.
Yeah.
What better day to celebrate and commemorate, our Blackness? Like, let's do this thing. And before that, my husband and I, we were doing pop-up shops, and we were at the farmers market. And what most people know for entrepreneurship, we were hustling. That's pretty much
Hmm.
what we're doing. We have been doing that since 2018, when I first started Hue Collection. That was more holistic health, hair products, things that I was making by hand. And then we ventured into my husband leaving corporate America and joining me as an entrepreneur, and we rocked that thing out. So that's where
Wow.
we are now. We have a brick and mortar, which we're super excited about. We're so blessed to have. And now we just purchased our first food truck. So thank
Oh,
you for
wow.
having me. Thank
Congratulations.
you. Thank you.
Congratulations. So yes, I forgot to mention that you and your husband are business partners.
Yes.
So partners in life, partners with these five boys, business partners, all the things.
Yes. 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 Yes.
That's amazing. So tell me, like, what's your big why?
What's
Because
my
they say start with why. If for anybody who hasn't heard of that or hasn't read that book by Simon Sinek, and sorry about the noise, somebody's getting a patio built 2 doors down from me. Is it really loud? No? Okay. Um, but start with why. For those of you who don't know it, definitely it's a great book to read. But even if you only have 20 minutes, go look for the TED Talk about it from Simon Sinek. And it really is this book that talks about companies that last and grow and really get the hearts and the spirits of people like to ride along with them. They start with and end with a why, right? Like that why is at the center of everything. So what's your big why?
my big why is, number one, health, and the longevity of having not just health but good health. And what does that mean? And how do we thrive in a society when they're constantly forcing you to eat trash, be trash, party all night, not get enough rest? Um, and then also, if you're planning to to take the journey of supporting yourself in your health journey, where do I go? There are not many places. You can find a McDonald's on every corner. You can find a
Mm-hmm.
corner. But if you're saying you're going plant-based, you're going to have to drive a certain amount, a radius, 5-10 miles, to get to those healthy alternative options, especially like myself, who grew up in East Baltimore. There's not
Mm-hmm.
many vegan options growing up in these inner cities or things like that. So opening up Hue and also having the apothecary, which is where we do the herbal medicine and formulation, is that we are being able to access and meet the people where they are. And
Yeah.
that but that's pretty much what it is. It's making sure that it's accessible. Our why is to provide a need, and there is a need for people to have access to amazing food, but also herbal formulations, and understand the importance of supporting their bodies and supporting themselves without having to rely on the hospital and things like that.
Yeah. That's awesome. And so how or has your why evolved over these last 2 really crazy years? Has it been strengthened by this time? Has it evolved? What's been the shift? Because I would say we all have made some kind of a like shift or have had our resolve strengthened or either again shifted in some way over these last couple years by what has occurred. So what's been a shift for you?
I would say, luckily, we were already in a health and wellness space before the pandemic. So we were pretty much in the heart of it, providing a need. And it was everybody needed, so, needed to support their health. They wanted to know, how do they prevent from getting sick? If I got sick, what do I do? So have my why changed since 2017, 18 when I started? It really hasn't. I knew from the time that I began that this.
She's popping, y'all. She's getting calls
I
through
knew
our
that.
whole thing.
I don't know how my phone is ringing. I cut it like where it goes.
I'm like, oh, you popping
So
this afternoon. No, it's fine. Real life over here.
But no, I don't think my why has changed. I think if anything, it has grown. It has opened my perspective a lot more. But far as changing, when I thought that I went away to a herbal camp where they were like, I lived on a farm and I got to see how they grow herbs and how they don't rely on a hospital, that it struck something inside of me to say, why don't we have these in Baltimore? Mm-hmm. Why am I not able to walk into an apothecary in Baltimore or Owings Mills and say, hey, I feel like I had this or I had that, or I'm on medication and I wanted to change over to, how do I do that? And I didn't see that. So initially I left camp and thought, I'm opening up one. We're going to open one up because we need it. Yeah.
So again, because we're really focused on marketing and branding, one question that I have for you is really about like how you are or what you're doing to set yourself apart. And then the other piece of that question, and you can break them up or talk about them together however you want. But the other part of that is, because this is a pretty new space in our community in particular, you know, the plant-based options and, you know, how to, and herbs, you know, like using, and I won't even say it's new because it's been done and it is a part of who we are as a people, but it is a part that has been lost in a lot of spaces in our community, that it is very much unknown and new among a lot of our community. And so how do you, one, set yourself apart, but also create a desire and an understanding of what you do when it isn't, you know, sort of as mainstream for many of us?
Yes. I think the main focus would be, you know, giving people something that they want and something that they have, you know. But I would definitely say, to set myself apart is, number one, I have to live the lifestyle myself. Mm-hmm. I have to be, I'm a walking brand. You know, originally when I started, my husband and I together, one thing we talk about is my husband was over 250 pounds. Mm-hmm. And he went from a size 42 to a size 32 without any surgery. And the same for me, where I was able to change my approach to how I was eating, meaning as in food. And that's what considered to be a lifestyle change. When you don't just do it for 2 days, you make sure that you're doing it for a very long time and it becomes very normal to you. So instead of you getting up in the morning and you may normally fry bacon, or you may get fluffy big pancakes, understanding that these foods are not going to sustain you throughout the day. So I changed my options of what can I do for fuel. So what will set us apart, number one, is doing it and being original. Looking around and seeing that there's nothing there. And outside of seeing that it's nothing there, then create something that's approachable and easy to digest, where it's not like these huge terminologies that I don't know what you're saying, but it's something that I can look and say, oh, okay, that's that. Okay, cool. Everybody can speak the language of good health and bad health. And I think that's what's also what keeps us, you know, very unique. When you come in the door, we're very welcoming. That's a number one thing I think.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you don't want to walk into a space and not feel welcome. So that's something that this society lacks. So we're talking about big businesses and small businesses. They just lack the basic common things of customer service. I think they lack the consistency. So trying to keep up with that, I think, has what will keep us growing throughout the next 5-10 years of keeping consistency and things like that. And I think that will continue to set us apart as well. Did I?
Yeah, you did. So what do you hear your customers most say about you?
What do I hear most? So I read a lot of the reviews on maybe Google and Yelp, and they always talk about my warm spirit, and when they walk in, how they feel that they're being attentive, like we're attentive, and they leave out feeling good, and that's mostly important. Even if you may not even get any food, when you walk in, people you should feel like energy transfer. So if you can just say hello and greet me and I feel like you meant it, I think that's medicine. That's healing, you know, being in the space.
Yeah. So that is all very, I mean, it's organic, I'm sure, no pun intended, but it's also intentional, the experience that people have in your space.
Yeah.
The first thing I noticed when I came into the space was like the warmth of like the design, the spatial design. Like it is like it's really beautiful in there. It feels good. So like tell me about like that process of like coming up with what it would look like in there and how like what was people often wonder, when you're talking like branding, marketing type of things, it's like a chicken or the horse kind of thing. What process did you, or chicken or the egg, or cart before the horse is the other term. But what process did you go through to before you created the spatial layout and all of that? What was your process for like deciding like here is who we are, this is our brand, this is the image that we want to put forth and that we know that we can live in every day?
I definitely would say kudos to my husband because he definitely had this vision all mapped out. He has been in the restaurant industry and in the restaurant space where he has managed so many different concepts. So when it came to design, he has an eye for certain things like that. That's not my expertise. So that's the best part of having a partnership in this is relying on someone else's voice. When you not speaking with him and he come back and we go back and forth to really design the layout. What did we want people to feel? Because I remember when he came up with the yellow, so small insert, we had a previous cafe in Towson. I know some people don't know about that one. But we worked on that. God blessed us and we was able to navigate out of it. That was in 2018 as well.
Okay.
Old cafe space, the entire cafe was the bright yellow. So when we went to the new cafe, my husband came up with the idea of putting the yellow in the background and put the gray in the front and make it, warm. And I was just like, are you sure about that? He was like, no, I'm telling you, it's going to work. It's going to be nice. And I'm like, okay. So I would definitely say having his support has also what has made the business and the layout of having the apothecary on this side and the restaurant on that side and making sure the register over there so that people don't have in line if they want to purchase just retail or they just want to talk about herbs. They don't want to feel like they're holding up the cashier's line. So all of that
can y'all take that to I feel like every time I go to Caribbean restaurant, no disrespect to Caribbean restaurants because I love them and I'll still wait in them long lines, but that flow that you just mentioned is so like necessary and it's so absent and that was the first space that came to mind to me, like Caribbean restaurants, because like I will go for a patty, but I gotta wait in the line for people ordering the whole meal. So no, that is a part of your experience, right? Like that determines like, am I gonna leave a review? One, is it gonna be nice, and am I coming back?
Yes. And like you said, I totally agree. There's actually a part of the experience of being quick service because that's kind of what we also discussed before. That will be quick service. People have things to do. They don't want to wait 45 minutes, so you want to be able to service them, but service them well.
Yep. So what would you say if you had, so the well has, the 4 pillars or 5 of community, collaboration, confidence, capital, and celebration. What would you say, or maybe you have some official ones too, but even unofficially are like the pillars? What upholds Hue Cafe and Apothecary? What do y'all live by?
What do we live by? I know for sure we did it before we kind of opened as well, where number one, it definitely was diversity. Inclusion. Of course, things that we live by is, I would say, great communication. And when we say communication, along with the team and staff, but also our customers, great communication because that's how you kind of can prevent, hiccups and things like that. Compassion. You have to be compassionate for the people. I would say veganism, plants is not necessarily new to our culture because we come from it. We're right. It's been taken away and thrown around. words are thrown on it. So when people come in, they do come in ignorant. So you have to
Yeah.
have compassion, not to judge everybody, but to educate and be patient
Yeah.
enough to give them that knowledge. So when they leave, they don't feel like, you just threw them off to the side. So it's
Right.
definitely, you have to have a level of compassion, especially for the African American community, because we don't know. This is something
Mhm.
that's completely, we're trying to survive. We're in a survival mode. So health comes second to many people. So I would
Right.
say compassion. What is another one? I feel like I know them, but I can't spit.
Mhm.
So I'll definitely go with, I said collaborate. I said compassion, communication,
Communication
and diversity,
and
inclusion.
diversity. Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I gotta think about that other one because I definitely know it. I just can't say it right now.
Yeah, well, I will say, like, in my experiences coming in and calling in, those ring true. The communication one in particular, I remember being like really impressed with. I think, do you all have like a text system or something, like you text when your food is done or you
Yes,
call?
yes,
Yeah, like I was so impressed with that because you know how often it is you might order something and get to the place and then still end up waiting for it because they gave you a time that it was going to be done and you got there at that time and then it's still another 20-minute wait after they told you 20 minutes. So like the fact that you all send those messages to say your food is ready or whatever, like that is, yeah, like it feels very deliberate and it feels like communication matters to you. And like building communities. I'm gonna give you that one too. Like that
yes,
does build a sense of community
yes,
with those that you with your customer. So yeah, like I feel all of that in your brand for sure.
yes,
So social media is a big part of how we market these days, and it is a space that some people like love and thrive in and others like want nothing to do with it. And if they could, they know they can't throw it away. We as business owners, we all know we can't not be on it and can't throw it away, but some of us, would rather not if we
yes.
didn't have to. But you all are growing a thriving brand on social media, and you also have your page and your brand on social media. What would you say to, sort of help somebody along, right, in the process? What would you say has been a contributing factor to being able to manage it, grow it, be consistent with how you with what your brand and your page represent, and to stick to those core values?
I think, like as you said, social media can be a lot. It can be extremely draining, but you can build really great communities. I will definitely say,
Mm-hmm.
this consistency of your brand and your message, and not being wish-washy. Meaning, when we started, I think social media, we probably had 100 maybe 29 followers. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and we're almost at 10,000 organically. We've never done anything, but we've always showed up for our community, and that may not be in the way that we always want to, but it's at least showing up, even if you're not completely 110%. Because people still want to know that you're human and that you're authentic and you're real, and realize
Mm-hmm.
growing a business for the first year, nothing will be perfect. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you'll want to try your best at it each and every day. So when it comes to social, just take your time at it, because I don't think we were in high school or in college. They didn't say nothing about, oh, take this social media class. They was
No, they didn't. Well, not when I was in school anyway.
now they
It
have
didn't exist.
stuff, but we were in school.
Right.
It wasn't a social media 101 class. So it's like you're teaching yourself these things while also learning these different things, and
Yeah.
understanding that social media is a huge part of marketing and it's free. So
Yeah.
do what you can when you can. And I think that someone's saying, what's the Instagram name? Are they talking about the cafe's Instagram?
The cafe's Instagram is what?
Hugh Cafe.
Hugh Hugh Cafe and Apothecary.
Yeah, Hugh Cafe and Apothecary. But honestly, it's just been definitely being authentic, staying true to yourself. And even if your business isn't growing as fast as you want, you still stick with it. And, understand that it's going to go through the phases that it needs to develop. And it's going to teach you some things. So I think that when it comes to social media, just be patient, because that's all you
Yeah.
is be patient.
Patient and consistent, right? Like that's really it. And and it is challenging for some of us to be on it and be there and want to do it, but like you said, it is free marketing. And so we a lot of times hear about people speaking about like, oh, I do not like social media, or I don't, and they want nothing to do with it. And we, talk about how like there wasn't a social media class when we went to school. And look, and I went to school for business, for marketing more specifically. But to your point of it being free, like if we shift our thinking about like how powerful, I mean, I think we know how powerful it is because we are impacted by its power every day. But if we shift our thinking to seeing it to our benefit,
Yes.
instead of as a burden to us. And I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to myself as well. When I was in school, when I was, in college, like marketing had no, like it was expensive, period.
Yes.
Period. Like there's no and or but. It was just going to be expensive. And now we have, like you said, this free resource that if we put the work into it, if we put some energy into it, and if we put some authenticity and consistency into it, it can pay dividends just by being willing to show up in a real way. And so I think that that was such a great point to make, and one that we often need to be reminded of, because you take things like that for granted, right? Like now it's been around for 10, 12 years, and we may take for granted the fact that there's this very free way to market that we can take advantage of, even though it may feel intimidating, burdensome, all of that. 12 years ago, 15 years ago, it wasn't even an option.
Yes.
Like even if you were printing flyers, you had to pay to print flyers, right? Like this is the first time, right, that you've really had such like worldwide access in a free way. So yeah, we would be foolish not to like at least try to do something really powerful and consistent with it. So yeah, I mean, I appreciate you noting that. That's a good point for me as well. So I'm going to end on two more questions. One question for you is about a pillar of the well. So one of the pillars of the well is collaboration. Who is your dream collaboration with, and what would y'all do together?
Oh, wow. My dream collaborate. Oh my God. I've never even thought of that. And oh, wow, that was a good one. I actually have to, like, really.
You're going to think on that one. Well, let's do this then, since I threw you on the spot with that particular question. When you come up with it, this is a challenge to you. I'm challenging you to post it or post about it and tag us about your dream collaboration and who you would do it with, and tag them, because sometimes it's about shooting your shot, right? Like we said that, and that's marketing, right? And whether they respond to you or not, like that is somebody else who may just see your brand for the first time and give it, give it a taste. Everybody knows somebody in Baltimore. They may send somebody they know to you. So that's my challenge to you, to think about who that dream collaboration is with. And actually, that's my challenge to everybody here. Who is your dream collaboration? Because one of our pillars is collaboration. If you have somebody who you want to collaborate with, a dream collaboration, who is it with? And what would y'all do together? Post that on your page, that dream. We all share things that we want and all of that on our pages all the time. Post that collaboration, that person, that brand, and tag us. We will repost it. So look, it's gonna get some spins. We will repost it if you tag us, and it'll just be a fun way for us to really be intentional about like taking advantage of this free tool and this space, sharing a bit about our brand with somebody or some brand that we also admire and are inspired by. And it gives us something, some action to take, because one of the things that I'm really big on inside of The Well is that we leave the spaces that we're in together, not just inspired and motivated, because that only lasts for a couple minutes,
Yeah.
but that we leave with an action that we can actually take, that we took something away from it and we did something with whatever we got. So if you spent this time here with us today,
Thank you.
thank you, and
Yes.
do something with it.
Yes.
Tag The Well, tag that collaboration you want to have, and we will be sure to repost it as well. And I'm inspired to see who you repost and you tag. And I need to think about mine too. So I'm not going to give a challenge without doing the challenge. So that's my next to last question. And then my last question is, what advice do you have for women who are where you are right now or where you were a year ago in their businesses? What's the offering you want to leave us with today?
If I could think about an offering, because I have a lot of, young ladies that, will come to the cafe and they'll like ask me questions like, I don't understand, like, how did you do this? How did you get this? I remember when you started this, and, things like that. For people, there's some that have been a part of this journey for a very long time. So when I used to drop off products to people houses, during the pandemic when the post office was backed up and I would have to drive around, and people that have supported us since we've been at the farmers markets and things like that. And I think that when you're a wife, you're a mom, and you have these amazing visions and dreams and ideas, I think that, especially because it's very easy these days to compare your journey to others, you start to beat yourself up and feel like you're not doing enough. And
Mm-hmm.
that kind of can drown, your ambition and kind of make you unmotivated. When
Mm-hmm.
I think that one thing I know I used to do, because I used to be a stay-at-home mom too for a very long time, and I did feel that way where it was like, dang, I can't do nothing, I can't go nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a lot of mom stories, whether they may still be in the 9-to-5 position and they feel like they want to jump out into entrepreneurship, but they don't have a life that's set up that way. I think that just be strategic. I would say strategize and write it down and give yourself real goals, meaning if it's a 6-week goal, an 8-week goal, 5-month, a year, that you really move your feet. So I don't care which way that looked like. If it will be you make some little small bar soaps, I don't know, but pop up at a little pop-up shop just to get your feet wet. And I think back away from thinking about it, but actually doing it. And it's not perfect. Do it. And that is the way that you can see results, is by at least taking the chance. And I think sometimes we can get really, like, it's not perfect. It don't have this, it don't have that, when it's just like, you won't know until you try. So if I could say anything to a wife, a mother, someone that has children, that's married, and you have a vision or a dream and you want to aspire to be something, great, I definitely say I say jump off the bridge. You have to jump off the bridge. And I mean, you don't know what's underneath, but you have to have the faith that you'll be able to do it. Whatever is in your mind and what's in your heart, I say go after it.
I love it. I love it. And I will, if you don't mind me adding to that, for those of us who are on the line who are already in business and have been in business for some time, we all know that when we take that leap, the fear and the call to take a next leap doesn't go away, right? Like it's a next leap after that, right? Like we know that, I know at least I thought that when I took this big leap, like that was going to be the leap, right? And that was it. And then it wasn't, but then there's a next leap to take and a next leap to take. And so I just wanted to push on us that what you shared is for us too, and not just for people who are waiting, who are feeling the desire and the need to take that first leap. It's for those of us who've taken a leap, that we don't get stuck or become complacent, or like when we're feeling challenged or called to take that next leap, that we take it too, because There's a next one.
And it,
And the next one. That's
yeah,
right. That's right. So
I would
thank
definitely say that. It definitely, thank you for reminding me, because you absolutely hit that one on the nose. Absolutely.
Yeah, and you just took your next one. You've got your food truck now. So now you've got the restaurant and the food truck. So yeah, there's a next leap and a next leap. And it's not I think sometimes what gets lost is that the next leap isn't always about like bigger, better. The next leap might just be different. It might be vertical, right? But if it sits in your chest and doesn't go anywhere in the same way that this one, to start the business did, then that's still the next leap. And that we just can't get stuck in, well, I did this, and so I did this.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm good. And, we got to keep moving too, because it is in movement that we continue to grow. The great Lauryn Hill said anything not growing is dead. And so I think that's a great way to wrap up this call with this plant-based business. Anything not growing, anything not growing is dead. So my hope is that we all continue to grow, and that as we do so, we share those messages that we learn, or those lessons that we learn along the way, with each other. So I'm looking forward to seeing who y'all are excited to collaborate with, who your dream collaborations are, and can't wait to see yours and share it and remind everybody of this amazing conversation when I do. But thank you all for being here. Thank you, Ajama, for spending time with us and for giving us your nuggets and your wisdom. And everybody, go visit Hugh Cafe and Apothecary. What's your address?
10210 South Dolefield Road, and we are in Owings Mills, Maryland, 21117.
All right, so let's go visit them and get some delicious plant-based meals, and you all have a great day.
We have herbalists at the apothecary too on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, so make sure they go over there.
Oh, nice. Herbalists, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. All right, what are your hours of operation?
We are open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m.
All right, they on those Chick-fil-A hours, y'all, so, I love it. They take that break on Sunday and get some rest, but Monday through Saturday, you said 10 a.m. to 9 p.m.?
9 a.m. to 9 p.m.
9 a.m. So you have breakfast as well? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Go get your herbs, go get loved up on, and get something good to eat at Hugh Cafe and Apothecary. Thanks so much, and I will see you soon.
I will see you soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. All right, everyone, you've been here for another Well Women Wednesday. Thank you for joining us. If you just jumped in, you didn't hear the challenge, well, you're here now, so now you got to do it. Here's our challenge. So Ijama said that I asked her the question of who her dream collaboration would be with and what would they do together. And she said, I'm going to have to think about that one. And I said, great. We're talking branding and marketing. So since you need time to think about it, why don't you go ahead and post that person or that brand and tag us in it when you remember, because that will let them know who you are. There's some, a way to promote your business and promote your brand and who you are, but also to put out that vision into the universe. So I'm challenging everybody who jumped in here, because you are here, this call is for you too, to go ahead and use this free advertising, free marketing space we have here, and think about who your dream collaboration is with as well. Post it, create a post about it, tag She's Well Network. We will repost it to make sure it gets seen a couple times, and we will all be sharing our brand with a brand or a person that we clearly admire, respect, want to do business with, and they will know who we are, if nothing else. So since we're talking branding and marketing, let's use these tools. Have a great day. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be back in a week with another Well Women Wednesday. Have a great rest of the day.